Hi, it's Kirby Sommers. I'm slowly getting into the habit of talking. Um, Although, I love the tweeting and I love working on my books, this does seem more immediate. It seems like I can get my thoughts to you a lot faster. So, a lot of the things that I've learned having sort of become vocal about my life experience. And while I've tried to be vocal for, decades, it's only been the last year and a half as I have become involved in the Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell case that, people started to really listen on Twitter. Um, but what people that have sort of become close to me have revealed is very important, and that is that there's shame in telling your story. There's shame in even saying you were vulnerable. There's shame in saying that you were sexually abused. There's shame in saying you were a victim of someone. There's shame in saying, um, that you're human. We're all um, survivors of one thing or another. You may have had sickness, you may have had an accident, you may have had an experience like I did, with predators. All predators are not just sexual, there are different types of predators. What I always tried to do was to to well, the first thing I think that we all do is we put up that wall, right? You don't want to talk about it because when you talk about it with anyone, it makes you vulnerable and you relive it. And by reliving it, you're basically re experiencing the trauma. So, how do you get to a place where you can talk about this without being triggered and without feeling the pain? And what I'll say is that it becomes less painful the more you talk about it. That you really do have to step inside the circle where it is going to be painful if you're going to make any progress in healing yourself. I did not have the luxury of having a therapist or a psychiatrist or anyone to walk me through it. I had to figure it out on my own. And I think for many of us, that's a better way. Uh, I just couldn't figure out the concept of sitting there with another person who knew nothing about me and who was getting paid hourly, that this person would be able to tell me how to better um, deal with the things that I had to deal with in my life. The abusive mother, the abusive siblings, the abusive friends, the people who took advantage, and then ultimately the men who took advantage, and my feeling of powerlessness. So, that ultimately gave me the confidence that I needed to say, well, you know what, I did this by myself, and yeah, and while I'm stepping out and I'm saying, this happened to me, and I was raped, and I was trafficked, and then I became a sex slave, and well, and I never wanted to be, as I think you can identify. I didn't want to be labeled as that is who I am. I'm a lot more than that. At least that's how I see myself. So, the things that happen when you're younger and you don't know how to get away from a situation that you've never encountered before. So, how would you know? I mean, there's no shame in having been tricked by someone with an agenda, right? So, at some point, you just simply have to forgive yourself. And that's a big ask, but you have to forgive yourself. I forgave myself. Perhaps other people have an issue, and that doesn't bother me anymore. I suggest it should not bother you, um, as long as you're telling your truth and you're pushing the boundary of your own comfort. You have to really, you do have to get out of your own way, if you want to heal yourself. It's not going to just happen without your complete participation. Um, there will be days, and I have days where sort of certain things get me down, or I remember, I might be in the middle of writing, I'm working on the sequel of my book, The Billionaire's Woman, my memoir, and I'll start writing something that happened, and it'll trigger me in a mild way. And I just give myself permission to feel bad for an hour, and I'll go take a walk, or I'll do something to take my mind off of my feelings for a little while, or to have myself get readjusted. But then I just go right back and I keep going. Um, so that's just normal. I have found that writing has helped, and it always has helped me. I love to write, but it does help put your thoughts into a certain order, to look at things more objectively. Sometimes when I hear someone tell me their story, I don't even understand it, because I get like 10 different things that they're saying, and none of it seems like it's part of a narrative. And so I think to myself, okay, this person is hurting, which is a terrible thing, but so far this person has not found a way to explain what is happening to them inside in a way that I can easily understand it, in a way that anyone else can easily understand it. So I think it's just, it's important that we all just step into this place that's uncomfortable, and move on, because anything you do for the first time will be uncomfortable. You just have to just take that chance so that you can move forward. Um, well, I'm going to explore this further, and for today, I'm just going to keep this very short and to the point, and just say, stay in the game, keep trying, and tell your story. Tell your story. Stand up and be counted. Okay, talk later. Bye.